Hello, abortions, and welcome back to the Gonzo Ewok channel. Sorry. Oh, God, I'm still ill.
My name's Ewok.
My name is Gonzo.
And this is
Geordie's Space Program.
If you've just watched the last episode, then you'll probably be able to tell that we're coming immediately after recording that, hence Gonzo's silliness continuing and bleeding over into this episode. Well done, though.
Yeah, thank you very much. I enjoyed that.
I'm glad that you amused yourself, at least.
Yeah, I found at the end of last episode, when I started shouting about abortions and penile cancer, it actually cheered us up, strangely enough. So I thought, well, why not carry it off just to kind of get the episode moving?
So prepare yourself for 20 minutes of abortions and penile cancer.
Yeah, we've said this so many times. Yeah, this video's not going to make any money. Okay then, so...
Back to the rocket. What we're going to do is we're going to collect some science.
So, quick recap as you're setting things up. Last time we came to the moon, as you can see. There's the moon.
We're above the moon.
We've got a scientist on board and a probe core to help steer the rocket.
We're on space near the moon, which is where we want to be.
We're flying over the biomes here. The plan is just to grab loads of science, keep bringing it back into the rocket, into the capsule, keep scrubbing the experiments as we can with the scientist, and then hopefully get home in one piece with shed loads of science.
Shed loads of science. We've already completed the mission. We didn't take the mission off, but it's been done.
Cool.
And I don't know, you're going to have to keep the banner up, because this could potentially be a little bit dull.
So we'll start by shouting out unsavoury, unpleasant things. And then
excellent, we're close enough to get biome-related EVA reports.
Nice. I'll get with a lot of science. Unfortunately, I've kind of shot me wad. I've said everything that I had to say in the opening sentence of the video, really. I'm done.
Abortions and penile cancer. That was all you had to contribute to this episode.
That's all I've got to say. But yeah, we're still recording this. This episode and the two previous ones have all been recorded on a quite warm Saturday afternoon.
It is quite warm, isn't it? It's been awful this week. It's been jumping up and down between far too hot to be comfortable, and then we had awful thunderstorms.
Oh, I enjoyed that. I was awake for most of that because the Ben was awake and you know, constantly hungry and crying, so I sat up and watched it. What was quite funny was my little daughter, she was asleep for most of it, and when the lightning was particularly close to the house and loud, it didn't wake her up, but it did freak her out, so she was flailing around in her sleep, which was quite good as like the night turned to day in the bedroom. It was hilarious.
Yeah, what wasn't great about it was that I got absolutely drenched on my way into work the next day. So I didn't enjoy that.
It was nice. You know what? The weather that we've been having in the northeast has been warm, but more than that, it's humidity. I like things when it's nice and hot, but it's the humidity is what kills us. You know, I'm a big guy. Height of summer, don't mind being warm. Being humid is horrible. So when we had that thunderstorm, it cleared the air. Both me and me missus, she can tell when there's a thunderstorm coming on because she gets like a bit of a heavy head. But yeah, once it happens, it just completely clears the air. So the two will actually give quite a nice little bit of a boost. That was quite nice.
Well, I'm pleased you enjoyed it.
Bit crispy.
But it slightly inconvenienced me, so I feel like...
You've got a car though. I mean, you could have just lumped it and drove to work.
I can't drive to work.
Oh, yeah. You've got to be there permanent. You've got to be there 40 years before they let you park on site.
You've got to be 15 years of service before you can get a parking pass on site, because there's just not enough parking spaces.
Your legs would fall off.
I've been there 7, so I'm quite a way away.
It is ridiculous that would be a thing. Absolutely ridiculous. That you would have a place where that many people work. It's probably the place where the most concentration of people work.
Don't give away where I work. I've got to keep my
ever.
social media presence separate from my work life.
Definitely can't talk about Willie's dropping off or penile cancer then.
Well, within reason.
Reasonable levels.
A reasonable level of penile cancer. Yeah. Right, we've got Mun's Paul's science report there, which is great. We've got Midlands and Highlands and poles, so what we could really do with is hitting a couple of these craters, but they're quite a ways away.
I think, you know what, we might just have to... We will be back, because we'll be touching down here at some point. We will be coming to the moon and putting boots on the ground. So personally speaking, I would say leave it, and we'll just know that when we come to land here, we'll try and aim for one of the craters, and that'll be all right. Play it safe. We've got that much science. We do not want to get stuck out here with this much science.
I'm not going to get stuck out here. I mean, look at that. That's going to be a non-applicable burn, you see.
No, I think it's because you've just loaded the game up, though, is it not?
Yes, it is.
So turn the engines on, 400 metres a second. It's a bit of a chunk.
We'll see. We'll get to the manoeuvre node, and I'll fire the engines up and see how long it's going to take, alright?
What's the ISP of this rocket?
I don't know. What's that mean?
It's impulse.
I don't know. I don't know how to check. We haven't got, like... Do we need, like, a mod,
Does it
like
not-
Kerbal Engineer or something like
Does
that
it not,
installed?
if you hover over the rocket, does it not tell you if you hover over the engine?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shame. I'll see if I've got an iPad
It's
here.
fine,
I'm
pal.
going to have a look.
How are you going to check out this individual rocket's ISP?
It's the engine.
It's
You
not
don't
just
need-
the engine.
It is.
Well,
you don't need to know anything else. You
yeah.
just need to know what the engine is.
You need to know how much it weighs in order to... No, the ISP is not going to tell you anything. You need the delta V.
Yeah, but I can work it out if I've got the ISP. I know the delta V. The delta V is 400 metres per second.
No, that's the delta V of how much the manoeuvre costs. It's not the delta V
I
that
reckon
the
it'll take
rocket
about
has.
30 seconds according to my calculations.
I reckon it'll take 21 from here.
ISP LV.
The
909.
ISP isn't going to help you. It's a meaningless number without
It's
knowing
not.
the weight of the rocket.
It tells you the efficiency of your engine.
With which
Its
requires...
ISP is 390.
oh great, what does that tell you then?
It's been reduced from 400 to 390.
So the fact that it's 390 is...
345 in vacuum.
This is all great, but you need to know the weight of the rocket.
But you see, it's at 345 and 400 metres per second.
That tells you how good the engine is, right? So your car has a 1.4 turbo, right? Put that in a truck. It's not going to work as well.
But you see, you're the first to be telling me, you're trying to compare it to stuff on Earth. Weightless.
It's not weightless.
Weight isn't a
There's
thing
just
in space.
Weight is a thing.
It is not. If you put a Mack truck in space, I could push it.
Yes, you could, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't have any weight. It would just have a lot less weight.
I could throw it over a mountain if I wanted in space.
Throw you over a titting mountain.
Look, I'll tell you something. I'll let you into a secret. I used to be able to work that out. So if you go back to early episodes of GSP, certainly when we were doing moon landings, probably the first 6 or 7 episodes, I would be able to tell you before you'd even worked it out, that's going to take a 3-second burn. And it's because I knew the ratio on how to do it. Unfortunately, I've forgotten. But I used to be able to calculate it on the fly based on knowing the engine, its impulse, and what we're trying to do.
You need to know
based
the weight
on
of the
delta V.
rocket.
You don't.
You do.
You don't. You don't. I'm not saying I'd be able to work it out at like 1,000,000th of a percent, but I can tell you within probably a couple of seconds either way how much it would have been. You go back.
I don't know. No,
I'm
I'm not
going to find the clip. I'm going to find the clip. Of
All you need to
where
do,
I do
all
it,
you
and
need to
I'm
do
gonna
is
point
find
to it.
one clip of you reasonably guesstimating, and I could do that. I could reasonably guesstimate. Right, I'm just going to get this tip and science, and then we're
fly
going to
the
come back.
rocket and go home.
There we go. We've got the East Crater, so that's an added bonus. Now we're going to head back to Curvin. Where the hell is Curvin? Right, so the best way to do it is on the inside, is that right?
Oof.
No, it's on the outside. The best way to do it is on the outside of the planetary body. Can I set that as my target? Yes, I can. That's good. I'm having a bit of mouse trouble here. You can probably tell. Oop. We've gone a bit far there.
Oop, pulling the wrong one. Who were?
Whoa! I could have sworn that if you picked the the bit with right there, which I can't really do. It's probably because we're in a really bloody awkward orbit.
It's just get right out there.
Just
roughly,
get right out there.
aye. You know, like a fairly short burn to get right out there, and then bring my speed down.
Absolutely, that's the best thing to do.
Aye.
It's because I'm not in an equatorial orbit around the Mun, which would have been ideal. But we came out at a bit of a shonky angle, and I never bothered trying to do any sort of correction. I got excited about being able to get some pole information.
We're not worried that much, and of course we're not bringing the science back, the science equipment back.
No, the science equipment's being left behind. Everything should be in the cockpit now.
Cool. That's the only thing I wanted to check, was just we weren't leaving anything out there. Should be okay.
Yeah, we'll do a quick check when we're in orbit of what's in the cockpit.
Cool. Okay.
Well, it's all good, pal. It's all good.
So I'd been planning on doing a RimWorld solo play.
I'm
I'm
up for
still
watching
planning to do it. But it's trying to find the time and not feeling shit. I'm sure people appreciate giving me performance of this episode and the past couple. I'm not in the right place right now to be doing it, to be honest. I'm still a bit shabby. So I'm hoping maybe sometime through this next week for us, which is like sort of mid to late September. This will probably be going up towards the end of the month, I'd imagine. So hopefully by the time you're watching this,
It's kind of relatively late September already. It's like the 17th.
16th, 17th, something like that.
So this will probably be up early October.
Aye.
So basically, if you haven't seen RimWorld yet, Gonzo's bottled it.
Yeah, basically. I could have succumbed to illness.
Well, hopefully there'll be some Stellaris up by the time this video comes up, but I've kind of cocked it for the last couple of weeks, what with decorating, new job, all sorts of shit going on, you know.
We've both had quite a bit of real life stuff going on, haven't we, really? But it would be nice. I think I'd like to put a bit more effort into the channel, really. You know, it's great having the guys and having the regulars here, but it'd be nice if we could kind of actually put a bit more effort into trying to take the channel somewhere, I think. So I think a big part of that would be to put up more videos than just GSP once a week, really. So quite good to do. And the thing is, as well, if you don't like Cable Space Program, you're going to hate our channel, because that's all we do, basically.
Well,
so
even
nice
when we're not doing
variety.
Kerbal Space Program, we've got a very spacey theme.
Aye.
I mean, even RimWorld's a spacey game.
It's sci-fi.
I've been playing
aye.
Stellaris, but I kind of love those games. What I am playing at the moment is Dead Rising. Dead Rising recently got
I
a
saw
release
that. And I saw
on
you
PC.
playing it. Aye. What's the port like?
Port's absolutely pocket, mate. It's
Controls alright.
Controls.
Optimised alright.
I've been using an Xbox 360 controller,
Aye.
so I can't tell you about mouse and keyboard, but optimization is fine.
To be honest,
as
with
butter.
a console port, generally I would play it with a console controller anyway, even if you've got the options. Like, actually, I'll tell you a game that I play every now and again, but the Dynasty Warrior series, and you get some very fanatic people about it, but I quite like playing them just as a brainless. I can turn this on, beat some fools up, then turn it off again.
But they're
and
so
lots of stuff.
expensive.
They are.
I had Samurai Warriors something,
45.
but it was slightly different from the norm in that it had
the
a kind
Empires.
of where it
Aye.
had like the sort of really basic strategy
Yeah,
overlay
yeah.
on the top of it, and I quite enjoyed that rather than the linear campaign of the other ones.
Aye.
But I know what you mean. There's something very cathartic about the
There's just 100
button,
people on screen and just
press
wailing
X
on them.
until they're all dead,
Aye.
kind of thing.
But the thing is with Dynasty Warriors, you've got that many characters, and then you can upgrade them, and you can get loads of weapons and outfit them with different weapons as well. So there's quite a bit of variety there for it. But that I play with a 360 controller as well, and it suits it. It means you can just kind of relax and
Yeah, it is the kind
and
of thing
chill.
that benefits from it.
that's as far as a port goes. That's not particularly a good port for the controls. They're a bit janky, but it works.
To briefly bring us back to Geordie Space Program, I am going for a really high aero brake here, and the fuel's just about gone.
Aye.
So it may actually take a few passes for us to land.
Well, that's alright. I'll just bore everybody to death about Dynasty Warriors 8, a game that came out like 2 years ago, and probably not many people who are watching the channel have played. It's it's got a big audience, but it's quite a niche audience.
I'm just feeling like I want to be safe over this, because we are carrying a lot of information.
Yeah, most definitely. I err on the side of caution. We want to get that back. Here's a point. Oh no, actually no, it's not a point. I was going to say we don't want to crash and lose it all. If you remember the last time we tried to come back,
Yeah,
that
but
failed attempt, but
we didn't have a parachute then.
No. What I'm thinking of is just when we did the aborted test run of this thing, and we came back down after we got some science, and we lost all of the bits.
Oh yeah, well that's not going to be an issue.
But it's not an issue because everything's in the capsule. I keep forgetting. We've actually brought a scientist and done stuff in space for
It's going to take bloody ages to get this ship down.
How far are we into the atmosphere at the minute?
58k.
Have we got any fuel left to try and bring that down a touch?
No, we don't have anything.
Right.
But I've got a plan. You're not going to like it, but it's a plan.
What is this plan?
We need to get back up to the apoapsis before I put the plan in motion.
Can you tell us what the plan is before you're there and you're doing it?
But that would spoil the surprise. Basically,
you're going to get out and push, aren't you?
Yes, we need to lower the periapsis.
Oh, for God's sake.
We only need to lower it a bit. If I can get it around about 50, then it'll significantly reduce the amount of passes that we're going to take.
If we ditch the bits that we don't need...
we need them up until the point we're confident that we're coming down, because the solar panels are on the main body of the rocket.
But, I mean, we're stuck here now, basically, aren't we? We don't need the solar panels anymore.
We need the solar panels because we need electricity when we're coming down to land, so I can turn the capsule and make sure it's facing the right way, i.e. the heat shield way.
Oh, right, yes, I see that. What about parachutes? Do we need electricity to fire the parachutes?
Yes, actually, we do need electricity to fire the parachutes.
Now, there's a tiny amount in the capsule itself, though, isn't there?
Oh, I've got batteries, mate. So, I've got batteries, that's fine. It's just we need to keep the power on.
I can't believe you're getting out and pushing. Now, I know you've done this, not on episodes of Geordie Space Program. You might have done it on a short, and I know you've done it in your own personal play.
58,000, remember that number, yeah?
Right. You better not lose it. Actually, it doesn't matter, does it? As long as the science comes back, that's all I care about.
Well, it's an automated ship, so we can still bring the ship back, even if we do lose her.
Try not to, though. I mean, she was quite pricey. You know,
she was quite pricey.
Handy to have a disposable scientist.
And she'll come back with a bit of experience as well. So
you're pushing from the back? Oh, I see, to mimic the engine going off and slowing it down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for some reason, I had it in my head you were going to be pushing it towards the planet, and then I realised that wouldn't actually achieve anything. So there we are. Yep, we can see the speed is very slowly dropping off. That is pathetic. What's the ISP of an EVA pack?
I've got no idea. What's the weight of a Kerbin?
I don't know. I mean, she looks fairly trim. I'd imagine about 8 or 9 stone.
Well, that helmet's got to be heavy.
You right?
Yeah.
I'd imagine it'd be quite light. All space stuff will be quite light. It's just tin foil, isn't it?
Do you know, no matter what height a Kerbin falls from, as long as they don't burn up in the atmosphere, if they land on their helmet, they survive. I had, I was playing a few weeks ago, and I had Jeb survive a ridiculously high fall because he landed head first. It's fantastic. He fell for like 2,000 metres. The rocket blew up.
I could do that.
The rocket blew up and I panicked and jumped out. And it ended up being a really good move.
Yeah, unfortunately we've never really tried that. We always try and bring the rockets down. You know, we've got that kind of going down with your ship mentality, really, when things go wrong. Except once when we kicked somebody out, but that was as a punishment, because they annoyed me.
It's just fun. I say fun.
I mean, no, it's boring as all hell.
What was it? It was 58,400, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use 4 units of fuel, and then see what it is. And if it's not like good, then we're probably going to have to do a jump cut.
I mean, yeah, this is boring as sin. To be honest, this is bad video, bad YouTube going on here.
And it's because I tried to be too safe with the aero braking, without taking into account the. I hope I'm coming on to the right side of the ship. I don't see the door. I don't see the hatch.
Other side. Whoa. Alright. Doing alright. I know. It's just
I'm just taking it nice and slow because I don't want to overcock it, given that we've got very little propellant left.
If she gets flinged off, we're screwed.
Just why I'm trying to board direct rather than grabbing.
As I can see.
Oh.
It was there. It's there. It's gone.
You know what? Just grab it.
That did
Just take the chance. Right, so that is now 40,000. You see?
That was pretty good.
That worked very
Brought
well.
it down 10,000 metres.
You see, what did I tell you?
That was pretty... I mean, it was boring as sin, but it worked.
But it worked.
It's something we haven't done before. That's a good little tip. People often forget...
if you get stranded, you never
you've always got an
stranded
engine
in space.
Yeah, you've got an engine.
If you've got a ship, then every time you get in and out, it refills that EVA pack, so you just get out and push it in increments.
I mean, it is a little bit cheesy, if we're honest.
It is a little bit cheesy, but, you know.
It works.
I would like to see them do that on like a serious sort of space drama. Should we get rid of that end?
I think so. I mean, it's 40,000 that I imagine will come down, and if we don't, probably one more evolution would do it. Chunk! There we go. Hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt me.
Alright.
So, dropping down. Once we hit 40, we'll see what's happening with the rocket. Right. We're in.
We're in Atmos.
Air hasn't quite grabbed it yet. We're still picking up speed.
Well, yeah, I mean, your fastest point is your lowest point of orbit. So that means we're still approaching our periapsis. It'll start slowing down once we pass the periapsis. And there's the heat coming in at 55. So that's a good point to note, because this is when the friction really starts hitting you.
Aye. We're still picking up speed.
So it's 60. It was kind of pathetic. There was virtually no air resistance to slow the ship down.
Now, in terms of resources, it's not showing any ablator at the top there.
Yeah, you have to click on it to show the ablator.
And see, that's slowly coming down.
Not as slow as I would
There's
like.
a button there for jettison heat shield.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Do you not?
No, because then you jettison your
Can we
heat
do
shield.
that when we're coming down to land?
You can if you want, but I don't see the point of it.
It's heavy.
Something just exploded.
That'll be the other bits.
What other bit?
The bits here.
Oh yes, the bits that I left behind. Yeah, it's coming down nice and quick. But I better keep the eye on the ship to make sure nothing overheats.
Aye, I would do. Yeah, I suppose because the heat shield's quite heavy, so if you knew you were going to maybe ditch in the water, or you were a bit worried about your rocket coming down, you could maybe just ditch it. And
it's not that heavy, really, in the grand scheme of things. I'm a bit worried about what's trying to overheat and explode, to be honest with you.
Probably something important.
Like, well, there's nothing on there, so I'm pretty sure it is the capsule is trying to overheat and explode.
The parachute. Oh, we're doing okay.
Yeah, but this is like, all it's going to take is one little mistake from my part, and let's be honest, I am known to make mistakes.
Wait, don't make a mistake then.
Shut up. Don't stress me out, man.
Look, it's okay. I mean, we're going back up again. We only bled off maybe a couple of 100 metres a second, which is quite a shame.
That'll make a huge difference.
Aye, it will. What's that done to the map? We're doing another circle here, easy, aren't we?
Probably one more.
Aye. Oh well, riveting. You've seen me push a ship to slow it down, spin around.
Actually, I don't know that we might come down here.
You reckon?
Yeah, we might.
We are staying in the
that's
atmosphere for some
quick.
time, aye. There is a chance.
Yeah, we've got a long time before we actually... Actually, no, it's starting to jump off quite quick now, isn't it?
Aye.
Okay, we might be doing another revolution. We were coming in quite fast. I mean, in the ideal world, we would have had a bit more fuel when we got here and got a more stable orbit before we tried to bring it down, but we didn't, so...
Yeah, you just got to do best of what you can. It's nice though. I think sometimes, you know, when things don't quite go textbook, it lets you show a little bit of kind of creativity, bit of thought, and it's where you see stuff that then possibly, if people are watching this and maybe don't play Kerbal Space Program very often, it gives you some ideas on what you can do to try and rectify situations, really, or at least it shows you a little bit of the thought process.
Right, I'm turning the power off now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Try and preserve some of that electric charge until we come back round again.
So we were like pretty high. I think we were like 1900, weren't we? Or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I think so. I think we'll come down next time.
One more should do it, and we've gone down to 39 on the periapsis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as we spin our way back round. It's the dark side of the planet. Let's move around. And night becomes day again. That must be a bit of a head fuck, really. Think about it. You're looking and say, oh, it's night time, it's dark, it's daytime again. But, you know, within like 40 seconds.
I'm sure it's not 40 seconds.
No, I think it's about 90 minutes on average. But still, or 45 minutes maybe. But even so, even just looking and seeing day and night at the same time, it's a bit messed up, really.
There is some fast. As I went to the pictures and saw a documentary about the International Space Station, and some of the things that they saw from the International Space Station were quite incredible. Borders were quite interesting. You can't see most borders, but there are some borders that are intense. Like the Pakistan and Indian border is just a line of light. And the South Korean border, that's a line of light. But then South Korea has so much light at night, and North Korea
has nothing.
It's got a little dot, and that's Pyongyang city, and the rest of the country is just blanketed at night. You look around the shores and you can see a lot of green light coming up from fishing boats, doing night fishing. So the nighttime view is really something to behold.
Where did you see that?
It was on at the Metro Centre. It was like a really limited show, and we had to get there for like 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday to see it. Like the rest of the shopping centre was closed. The cinema was the only thing that's open at that time. I meant we got parked easy enough though.
That's pretty cool.
They show a lot of stuff that doesn't get shown in, because it's a big cinema. They show things that don't get shown in the smaller ones.
Aye.
And they do documentaries from every now and again.
I wasn't aware of that, but I might check that out.
It was like 3D IMAX as well, so it was really incredible to watch. It was really, really interesting stuff. Yeah, there you go. Bit of culture. I went and absorbed a bit of culture.
I'd have enjoyed that.
We also did the Centre for Life do a Friday Night Life thing, where they open up most of the museums are open, most of the exhibits are open. Centre for Life in Newcastle, if you don't know it, it's a wonderful sort of science museum, fantastic. But on Friday nights, once a month, check their website out, they do Friday Night Life, which is adults only. It's got a bar, usually has a guest speaker in. They like show sci-fi movies and documentaries and stuff in the planetarium, and you can go in and you can check out like 99% of the stuff that's usually there during the day, but in like an adults only environment with a couple of beers. You can carry your beers around with you, it's great. And
depending on what time of the year you go to the Centre for Life, you might also be able to take in the Lady Boys of Bangkok.
Well, actually, they weren't there, but Fatboy Slim was there. He was playing in the Boulevard, and you normally get to the Centre of Life from the Boulevard, so they had like a side door open. So like everywhere, all the cool kids were at Fatboy Slim, and I was at the Centre for Life, having a lecture by a psychologist, and we're trying to listen to this guy's lecture, and all we could hear was dun 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 dun. Woo!
Fatboy Slim doing a little bit of hammering, was he?
Yeah. I met some.
Come and watch him. Put up some shelves.
I met some bloke in the shop. I nipped into a shop on the way home to get something to drink, and there was an absolutely mortal bloke in there. And he was standing behind me in the queue and went, "Yeah, Fatboy Slim was amazing, wasn't he?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, mate. I wasn't there." "You weren't there. You weren't there. Where were you?" I was like, I was at the Life Museum. He was about 3 times older than me as well. I'd say that. He wasn't 3 times older than me. He'd be dead.
I saw a video yesterday, and it was basically saying, "Have you ever been so mortal at a festival like you've tried to eat ice cream with the rat still on?" and there's just a bloke hanging on to like one of these sort of like greasy spoon shacks, swaying and just licking the paper of his ice cream. It was hilarious. He looked quite naffable drunk, really, just totally gone, trying to look out at the festival, just licking the paper of his ice cream.
Any sort of commentary on what's going on the screen now has been completely abandoned in this the second rotation around.
People can see it. You can punch it up. They know what we're trying to do here. It's probably going to come down this time.
Just in case you lost and you've zoned out, still trying to land this capsule. Still just going round and round.
You've been asleep for 15 minutes if you watch this at bedtime. I'll watch most of my YouTube videos at bedtime. I usually stick the headphones in, turn the brightness down on
we're running the iPad. 30 minutes for this episode now, so we're already 10 minutes over.
It's the longest one we've done in a few, and it's also the one where the least has happened.
Yeah, we couldn't split this in two because the second half of it would just be us going around and round and round Kerbal, where we talk about stuff that we've done in the last couple of weeks and things that are happening in Newcastle.
Aye. Which probably has limited appeal. It explains a lot about the lack of growth on my channel, really. You know what though? I'd rather talk about stuff that I like than talk about stuff that other people like. And then if other people like this by some sort of fluke, good for them.
If other people like Fatboy Slim and Lady Boys, then
hey, there's nothing
you're in
wrong
good
with
company.
Lady Boys of Bangkok. That's a very entertaining night out for all the family.
Have you been?
No. I have seen it though. I didn't go, but I was down Centre for Life way one time when they were in town, and they've got like a marquee to set up. The Centre for Life's kind of like a sort of crescent shape with a big open square in the middle.
What do they actually do? Like song and dance numbers and cabaret and
they're
stuff
quite
like
talented. The old Lady Boys. But yeah, they had the marquee, and I'd been out. I think I was at the Dog and Parrot, which is sort of like, it's a bit more of an indie pub now, but it was a bit of a sort of punk rocker hangout back in the day. And I'd been there and I'd had a few drinks, and I was nipping across for whatever reason into the square itself at the Centre for Life when they were there. So being a bit sort of drunk and a bit leery, I lifted up the marquee and I was having a bit of a watch around the side.
I was wondering why you were lifting up. Lifted up a skirt.
Side of the marquee. Just to have a look. I wasn't trying to be disruptive or anything. I was just curious as to what was going on. So I have seen it, but underneath a marquee in a sort of busy area, and I only got a quick glimpse anyway because there was security outside. So I thought I'd better leave.
So you were attempting to steal their show, basically.
I stole a glimpse of the Lady Boys. Are we going around again?
Yeah, we are. Definitely the last time.
I've run out of things to talk about.
It took about 200 and something. 226 was what app. So this is definitely
we
the
can
return.
see in the race for stuff coming back, we've got the debris on the inside track.
If we've got the debris, then what was it that exploded?
Well, some of the debris, I imagine.
There's debris from other rockets. That's big rocket, and that's bigger rocket. So that's this rocket. And so is that splashed down. Oh, that'll be the from the first time we tried this rocket design. That's probably the decoupler that you fired off in the water. Probably still floating around in there, waiting for us to pick it up.
Yeah, it's not doing any harm.
Well, this is definitely 100% going to be our last return run. We should have a lot of signs in here. We've got like 13 things.
Can't grab like a crew report or anything here. Already.
I'm pretty sure we've got everything, pal.
Just thinking because it looks as though we're over the desert. Yeah.
The only thing that's situational by biome, get rid of that, is EVA reports, and right. I'm not doing an EVA report when we are
I wouldn't do
this far inside the atmosphere.
Still got plenty of leggy, and we've got a few 20 pences in case we need them. Top it back up.
we've still got plenty of ablator as well. So
cool. Here we
should be fine.
Yeah, should be terminal descent.
Here we go. Final run. Don't blow up.
What's the periapsis here that we're coming back at? About 30?
35.
35. I mean,
35, I think, is point of no return kind of height from any distance, to be honest with you. Like
they're coming home when you explode.
30 to 35 is a fairly safe entry. I was playing it far too safely with what we did, and that's why we've been stuck here for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, 30 to 35, depending on what happens, becomes very easy for your rocket to flip over. It's going with quite some speed. generates a hell of a lot of heat. So
Yeah,
it's safe-ish, but it's still fairly sharp in the grand scheme of things.
it's certainly riskier than doing it this way,
Aye.
even if this is the boring way.
It is the boring way, unfortunately. And you know what we're like. We don't like boring particularly. I mean, that's rich coming from this episode, such as it stands, but...
It'd be good if we had a bigger heat shield, to be honest with you.
Aye.
Because, I mean, we have to be really, really careful with the angle, because this heat shield just covers that.
Aye. Can we do that, though? Could we put, like, a wider heat shield on at the bottom?
We could, I mean, unless we had
Would it-
a larger rocket underneath it, it would be a bit of a...
It would
a funny
interfere
move.
with stuff going up unless we had fairings around it, I imagine. Like aerodynamics.
Well, no, I mean, you could just put a whatchamacallit, a bit that starts thin and goes wide. Converter, you know.
Oh, right, aye.
Yeah, you
Aye,
put one
I
of
see
them
what
in.
you're saying, aye.
Because that like immediately turns inwards on itself
No,
at an
that's a
angle.
good way of doing it. I mean, the other way would be fairing just so then you get up into space and then you kick off the fairing and then you're up there. That would be pretty cool.
It'd have to be quite a fat fairing.
That'd be
It would
alright,
be
it can't
very. It would be very knob-like.
Bulbous. Nice big bulbous head, like a golf ball on a cocktail stick.
Oh, I guess we've just gone suborbital. You could tell by the camera change there.
Aye, that's it. Definitely captured.
So we are not going back.
The people down below, if there was cities and settlements on the planet, would be getting a lovely view here.
Look, it's the space centre. Can you see it? Just on the coast there.
The one bit of civilization on the entire planet.
But you can actually make out some of the details of it.
Yeah, you can see very...
Just crossing over it now, ladies and gentlemen, so you'll see it as we go past.
Yeah, it is in the tail.
There
of
it
the,
is, there, in the tail of the flame.
Can't just about make out the buildings. That's pretty cool.
And look,
There's
there's
the runway.
on the little island there, the old runway.
Oh,
Oh, that was lovely. What a lovely thing to see as we come past.
yeah, 2,000 metres a second.
Things are getting warm.
Oh, we've done alright here though, this is it, we're coming down. Have a quick check the map.
No, I'm not looking at the map.
Just want to see...
I have to keep adjusting my
What's
angle
going on?
to stop this ship from exploding, so...
Well, I mean, we're coming down below where Periapsis was now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I looked at the map before, and the apoapsis was behind us. So there's nowhere to go but down now. We're not going to go back up again.
Aye.
I just hope we bleed off enough speed.
Nice corona there, just on the horizon. That's quite nice. See the curvature of the planet, the atmosphere.
Very blue.
And then very black.
From white to blue to dark blue to black. It is nice. Lovely views. Nice little island there. I wonder if there's anything on there. Probably not.
There's not anything anyway. I know there's like plenty of mods where you can put like cities in and you can have like nights that flash up on the planet at night, stuff like
There's
that.
the occasional Easter egg.
Aye, but I mean like a monolith doesn't really count. It's not in the same league of impressiveness as a city.
No.
Unless it's like a 2001 monolith.
Well, of course, one of the popular fan theories is the reason you don't see any Kerbal cities is that Kerbans are subterranean and they live in underground cities.
Really?
That's just a theory. But I've never seen a hole that would lead to one of their cities.
No.
It looks like the heat situation is resolving itself. The speed situation's not looking too bad,
Flames dying off there.
considering we're still 11,000 above sea level. There's absolutely... We're only 65 kilometres away from where we landed last time when we just got into orbit, which in global terms isn't that much really.
It's a pretty good shot. I mean, you'd be hitting the same country if you'd fired a missile. Chances are. So we're right near the border. I mean, jettison the heat shield now.
If you really want to, yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to see it.
Yeah, just want to see it come off.
Oh, it's still attached. I must have clipped it in a little bit.
And do the old spinny.
No, I can't. Not with the air resistance that we've currently got
Well,
going on.
it's gonna disappear. Pretty quick, smart. Once the air power.
It's either the air resistance pushing it back, but I think it might have been a little bit clipped when I attached it. Heat shields are a bit funny like that. They sometimes let you attach them in two different positions, one of which is correct and one of which is a little bit further forward from what it should be.
Oh,
no, there it goes.
Ploosh.
And there it goes. Oh, you saw the splash.
Splash. That was
Lovely.
good.
all in all, a very long-winded end to the mission. But we can't say the mission was unsuccessful. The mission was an unqualified success.
Providing we don't die when we touch the water here, but that very rarely happens nowadays.
Quick save. Just in case it glitches. I wouldn't want it to glitch at the very, very last moment. I'm looking forward to see how much science we'll bring back.
Oh, I reckon easily maybe
in
150.
In terms of money, oh look, we've got a spacewalk in orbit of the Moon.
I think
we've got some world's first milestones.
Nice. Aye. I think, you know what, we should wrap this episode up by spending that science. See how much we've got and spend it. I know the episodes are long.
We're already like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We're double the length of a regular episode.
Look, we've got 500 science to spend.
Okay, but let's get it done quickly. 395.5 we brought back. That is nice.
Aye, that is a lot of science.
And
cash is back up.
Cash is significantly up. We've got level 1 scientist. Right, research and development. I think we need big solids for 90.
Yep, I'm happy to do that.
You were quite keen on getting legs.
See what other parts come with them.
So you get the landing struts, you get the larger heat shield.
We've just mentioned that. We'll get bigger parachutes.
Small landing gear and the launch escape system. I think it's worth it for the big heat shield and the legs.
Aye, cool. That'll let us use my catchphrase for the first time in nearly a year. I'll enjoy that.
So what else can we have? We're going to have little parts.
Nah.
We can have... fuel lines, fuel ducts and bigger tanks. Yeah, we'll have them. What have we got left? Enough for 2 more.
Let's have a look.
From this tier, so we've got advanced construction.
Quite like the ideas of getting the fairings. We get some of the options when it comes to decouplers.
We do have the fairings. It's only the 1.25 fairings, but we get better decouplers.
And we get the
tricoupler.
Do we not get the adapter as well? Is that not a...
Yeah, that's the...
So
that's an
we
adapter,
could use that for the bigger heat shield, potentially. That'll be handy.
Yeah.
Like one of the converter parts. So that seems pretty decent.
Then the space exploration, which gives us hitchhiker storage, barometer and ladders. Miniaturization gives us some small stuff.
Got their uses.
It's the miniature docking port though. Aerodynamics, some plane parts in the inline cockpit.
I think we should leave plane parts for the time being. At some point we will have to look at doing plane stuff.
So we're good for advanced construction though?
I think so, and then I would probably say the last one to do would be...
get the barometer and the ladders?
I was going to say barometer, because it's a science part.
With this, we've got
to get more science.
Ladders.
Legs.
And legs. We can land on other bodies.
I'm liking the sound of this. Okay. Well, I hope you appreciate... we appreciate that's been a long episode. We hope it's been alright for you.
For those of you who stuck around, we are eternally grateful. And I think all that we have left to say is, I don't know, abortions and dick cancer, I guess.
Bye!